A very warm good morning to all of you. This is Dr. S. Zahid Nabi Dar. I have done my BTech in the year 2009 from Nitin Meenakshi College of Engineering, Ramnagaram, and the following year I completed my MTech from Gosea College of Engineering in the year 2011. Since then, I've been involved in one way or the other in the teaching, research, and lab instructing courses. And from 2011 to September to March until I was working with SSM College of Engineering. It's a private college in Kashmir. Then I followed it up with a 1 year contract with NIT as a contractual teacher, and wherein I completed my PhD. The same year I qualified the MHRD exam that NIT had scheduled, and I took admission in the full-time PhD program, wherein I published a lot of papers, did my thesis work, and in between I have taken the classes as well as the lab instructing um, jobs were given to me, and the AMIE examination that are conducted in NIT. I was also in charge of the. I was the AMIE coordinator, which are the external exams conducted for engineering from Institution of India. I'm also a member of the Institution of India, and I'm also a member of ISTE. And I have the distinguished feature. What I felt about me is that since the pandemic, the education scenario has completely changed. So we don't utilize the conventional methods. So now you need to have a grip and a very good hold on the web communication based technologies so to engross and engage your students. And for that, I have learned many sites, gone through it, and I found out this WebEx series to be very good. And Microsoft Whiteboard, as well as the one by Wacom, that is the pen tablet that I'll be using in between my presentation while I'll be delivering the lecture to be good. Although I'm not advertising it, but these out of my research, I felt these to be the best. And in the past calendar year, in CMRIT, we required to do some publications. I have published in total 8 Scopus Index publication in unpaid journals and book chapters and conferences, out of which 3 journals are to my own credit. That is a single author paper that I have published in Q1 Scopus Index journals, and one is Q3 and another is Q4. Uh, Apart from that, I have already some guest lecture invitations also from the various universities across the globe, that is your Poland, Belgium, and Turkey. So this was about me. Now we'll be featuring the next part of the thing is that how to deliver a lecture. I have chosen a topic is mathematical modeling of a battery. Now let's look at the battery. Okay, why do we require a mathematical modeling of a battery? So normally when we talk about the battery, we talk about the electrical component of it, or the chemical component of it. But now herein, I am interested in the mathematical part of the battery. Okay. So what are the things that would be in the battery? The things that are inside within the battery are, there are two things. One is for your energy dissipation purposes, you require a resistor, and for your energy storage purposes, one requires a for energy storage purpose one requires a capacitor. So these two things are very essential to the battery. Now these two things over here, you can see this is IBAT, this is the battery current. RBAT, this is the connecting wire resistance. RB1, this is the over voltage resistance. CB1, this is the battery capacitance, over voltage capacitance. Similarly, VB1 is the over voltage battery voltage, and here you have the bulk resistance, and these are the and the shunt path. So you will be seeing RBP is the discharge self resistance, and this CBP is the battery capacitance. So here CBP is the battery capacitance, RBP, which I have written on the next slide. So what I am interested here is that to design this model, why I require to design this model, what is the need of this model? So this model has to be incorporated somewhere. Okay, it has to be incorporated either on the load side or on the storage side. So I do need to place this model somewhere between the AC DC link. So I do need to know the capacity, the over voltage capacity. Okay, the battery should not get burnt, it should not be okay supplied with over voltage. or when I'm taking supply, when I'm taking the charge out of the battery for my purpose, I should not deeply discharge it. So these are the two major concerns that I'm interested in, and I can also determine the partial state of the charge of the battery by these electrical parameters. Now to put these parameters and get an equation, a state space equation, let's see how do we arrive at the state space equation by basic fundamental concepts of KVL, KCL and state space modeling. Usually the state space modeling, if we do, so we have two conditions that are the norm. One is that we take a state vector that is across any element, okay, we take across inductance the current as a state vector, okay, and then across voltage we prefer to take the capacitance, okay, as a state vector, that is the voltage across the capacitor and the current through the inductor are preferably taken state vector. So here in this particular thing we can see over here we have this I battery that is across the inductor. Let I bat be equal to x1, this is a state vector, okay. So this x1 is flowing, okay, inside. So x1 is flowing here also, and from here also x1 will come out. Whatever will go in, that will come out. Let this be point A, let this be point B, okay. So this is the primary thing. Now here the voltage is VB1. This VB1, let me suppose this VB1 to be x2, okay. So similarly across this also the voltage would be x2. Now the third state vector is the voltage across this capacitor. Let this be x3. So if this is x3, so this is connected in parallel, so definitely this is also x3, across this resistance is also x3. So this is a very common scenario over here. So if I want to write any equation at point A, suppose at point A I want to write a KCL equation at point A. Current entering is x1, and what is the current leaving? Current leaving through at this point RB1, what is the current? If you use the Ohm's law, voltage divided by resistance will give you the current. So across this point, across RB1 the current is x2 by RB1, and across this point plus CB1 into, you can say, dVB1 by dt. So we have two things. See, current can be written as voltage can be written as L di by dt, okay, this is in the standard norm, or the current through the capacitor, this to the inductor, C dV by dt. These are the two common laws that we already know, okay. Same thing I am using. So this VB1 is x2. If I want to write x2 dot, that means a differentiation of it. So I can happily write, instead of dB1 by d2, I can write x2 dot. So I get this equation as x1 is equal to x2 RB1 plus x2 dot, or C into x2 dot, or x2 dot C, whatever it is, or CB1, okay, CB1. Similarly at this B point, again the current, if I keep this point name as C, at B point, at C point, current entering is x1 and leaving is how much? Through this what would be the current? Through this x2 by R1, so through this it would be x3 by RBP, and through this it would be the same C x3 dot. So I can again write the same equation, x1 is equal to x3 by RBP plus how much? Plus C x3 dot. Now here also, if I take for this example V external I want to write. So this is the external voltage V external. So here I have the current, that is x1, and here I have this formula L di by dt, okay. So I can write this LF into x1 dot plus, here I know x1 into R bat. Here too I know the voltage through these points is x2. So this voltage is there itself, x2. Then x1 into RBS plus, here though we know the voltage is x3. So directly x3. So this is one of the equations. So you notice you can get x2 dot from here, x3 dot from here, and x1 dot from here, and you can rearrange it and can put it in a matrix form. This equation 1, equation 2, and this be the equation 3. So this can be put in a matrix form. So this already I have discussed. Let us suppose x1 be the battery current. Okay, this is the norm, and this is the battery voltage. As far as the other things are concerned, we have discussed. Now here these are the same equations that I have derived over there. So you notice over here, this was the same equation, x1 is equal to x3 plus divided by RVP plus CBP x3 dot. See here, we have derived this x1, this one. Yeah, here we can see we have to write this equation, x1 is equal to this, and this is the equation, and the second equation is this, and the third equation is this. So you can see x1 is equal to x. So from these equations, you can rearrange these equations, can turn into these voltage points. And even if you want VBAT, so VBAT is what? VBAT is basically here. VBAT, if you want to write VBAT, so VBAT you have here. VBAT you have, okay, x1 by RBAT. Okay, this only this part will be missing in VBAT. V external, this part is involved in VBAT from here. Inductance part is missing. The rest equation will same. X1 bat, here you see X1 bat, only this point is missing, plus X1 RBS. So you can take X1 common, so R bat plus RBS, and you have X2 plus X3. So same thing is there. V bat is equal to R bat plus RBS, X1 plus X2 plus X3. So you can rearrange the equation in the mathematical form, and you can get a state space canonical form representation of this easily. Now what is our intention to do this? What is the conclusion part of it? Why we went through this, and why did we do? The conclusion, the most important point over here is, I want to say that I want to know the over voltage, know the over voltage, okay, so that I can design accordingly. Now suppose there's a room, okay, besides me, it has different amount of lights and all, so I need to design a transformer for it. What will govern? How do I design the transformer? Can I just arrange any wattage transformer or kVA? Sorry, transformer is obviously rated in kVA. Any which way I can bring any transformer? No. Why? The reason is that it will be governed by the load. What is the load inside my room? Now coming to my research part. So this was about the so this was about the lecture. So now coming to the research part. So as far as the research is concerned, okay, so what is the more important thing? Now today we can see over the years the fossil fuel rates are going up and they are shallowing down, and there is also pollution due to it, and over the years it has been asked that these things should be replaced with the renewable energy system. Now in order to get the renewable energy system, you have certain limitations. Your limitations are there, and these limitations primarily involve these limitations are primarily in are involving with the with the different types of power electronic links, okay, that power electronic interface which limit the use of your technology. So in order to procure, or in order to safeguard these technologies, so what do you require is that nowadays the features in the different turbines, like the wind turbines, are coming up with inertial response features, and these inertial response features are very vital. It can support the system whenever there is a small amount of shortage with the rotational energy present in its blades and turbines, which was earlier also supported by a synchronous generator for a short time, but after that time it does not have the capability to support it. Now if we need an external support, so what we can do is that we can interface a turbine, and we can utilize the battery energy storage system in the background and place it. So the placement of the battery energy storage system is a very vital aspect in the research field, where it has to be placed. so that it can give the optimum result. So these are the very important primarily research based results, so wherein we have to look forward. So now if I have to conclude the research field, so let me, yeah, from the lecture part, let me see, as far as the research field is concerned, so we need to optimally place this. So the main challenge in the research is, the research main challenge here is that placement of these energy storage devices, placement of energy storage devices. Then the another challenge is that they don't have similar transfer functions. They have different transfer function values. They have different this thing values. They cannot be easily accommodated. Now another challenge is tuning of these storage devices and devices integrating it to wind penetrated power system, we can say. Wind penetrated power system, this is again a challenge. Wind penetrated power system. So wind penetrated power system means 30% of the system would be wind, or you can say solar, or any heterogenic power system for that matter. So this tuning is very important. Then the most important thing is that when you are utilizing any energy storage device, whether you are utilizing it to the optimum level, suppose you are putting up a battery whose upper voltage is 1100 volts, lower voltage is 550 volts. Now when you are charging the system, are you touching the 1100 volt limit? If you are touching, that means you are utilizing the full battery, and when you are discharging, it has to be touching the 550 limit. But if it goes beneath that limit, so it will deeply discharge. If it goes above that limit, it will overcharge the system. For that matter, we are using adaptive predictive control techniques, and the discussion is very limited, just for 5 minutes. So that is the basic crux of my research. And also I'm focusing on the electrical vehicle system with energy storage, because the primary main component of any electrical vehicle system is the energy storage system. And again, this energy storage system can be utilized as grid to source and source to grid. Okay, whenever the vehicle is parked, the battery is fully charged after running, this battery can be utilized with the grid, okay, with the help of DC link and the chopper. So the focus of the discussion is very limited. And moreover, why do I want to join the Alliance University? I felt it's a bigger platform, it's a university, and it will elevate my position, and I get research atmospheres and scholars, so that I can showcase my talent. And I also saw many of the faculty profiles, especially one who has done has her PhD in FACTS, flexible AC current transmission system, which again is an energy storage device only, flexible AC. Although the research is done in the series FACTS devices, my energy storage devices are the shunt FACTS devices. More or less, I can learn from the faculty, and we can have a good exchange and knowledge sharing, and it can lead to a very good healthy atmosphere in the university. That's it from my side, and I will like to be a very student friendly and motivating teacher, and mentoring them and guiding them as a friend. So this is my profile, and this was about the discussion. Thank you. Thanks a lot.